people, let's talk about the book Through the Kaleidoscope with its author, Mr. V.Kalidas. Wanna quote famous French philosopher René Descartes: reading of a good book is like having a conversation with one of the finest people of the past centuries. Certainly, Mr. V. Kalidas is one of the finest people I met in my lifetime. He traveled across the globe for his work and he loved working. With work, he pursued sports as well as music. His team spirit not only reflected in game but also in work. And his spirit and his zeal towards life always inspired me. So I was certain that I am going to talk about his book. And Mr. V. Kalidas is one of the finest person I met in my life. So reading his book is certainly a pleasure for me, a privilege for me. So I want to welcome you. Uh, will you please tell about your book, and we will gradually go from present to past, like how the idea conceived. But right now, will you please tell the audience about the book?
Good morning to our viewers in London, and hello to you, Astha. I've spent 45 years with the Hindu. It's a marathon innings. At the end of it, many of my colleagues said that I should put to paper all the exciting things that I went through. I have cut across 3 managements.
Okay.
And I've gone across all over the world, thanks to a very enlightened management. I cut my teeth in advertising, in Calcutta.
Okay.
After a short while in Calcutta, I moved out to Bombay. And then Bombay is the mecca of advertising. The whole thing is shifted to Bombay. So the office took me on there. And then, because of my excellent performance in Bombay, I was promoted as vice president of advertising and shifted to the corporate headquarters in Chennai. That is, I came down to go up, in other words, geographically. Then this idea was lingering on for some time, but meanwhile, after 45 years service, there was a hunger for taking life easy. I went into a hibernation in New York and Houston, where my son and daughter are living. I had a wonderful time with them, and then came the day of reckoning when my colleagues kept pestering me. They said, enough of it now, we'll have to get down to writing a memoirs. So that is why I got into writing, and I had all my documents and with me, diary. So it became an easy task. I got into it.
But that's wonderful. That's so wonderful to know about, because certainly there must be many stories which are not known to many people, because unless you are in those shoes, you cannot know how to walk in that. So certainly there will be there must be so many things from which we can learn or experience the time you spend in those circles. So can you tell something specific or some specific incident which readers gonna read in that book particularly, or do you want to mention it?
Yeah. See, the book has been primarily segmented at 2 sectors. Okay. The first is the people of my era, the contemporaries, who would like to dig into the past and go into a nostalgic drive, and they could relate to all the great incidents, success, failure. Advertising is supposed to be a field of glitz and glamour, but a lot of blood, sweat, and tears shed on the way. True. So I've shared a lot of touches and times. And then there's the second part again. This is the second segment, rather. This is to inspire the up-and-coming advertising and marketing professionals. Okay. That is how to take defeat and how to ride on it and get into a positive mode, how to keep your ears to the ground, and how to win over, and how to do the networking with not only the advertising agencies, but also the clients. So here, like Moses' tablets, I've done 12 commandments, okay, which if they follow, they will definitely succeed as street smart salesmen. Okay. Another template was on, when I was there, we were doing a lot of in-house training. like harnessing human resources, creating talent, finding the talent pool, building up those boys. But of late, I found the Hindu the practice has been given up. So I decided to go to template. So the argument, that part was segmented towards up and coming advertising professions. So in between, in order to make the book more interesting, I have to include a lot of things which go with advertising, like music. If I take Mozart and Beethoven, their tunes have all been built into many beautiful acts like Tanishq and Old Spice. There, the music lingers, and there is some kind of relationship in advertising and this kind of music.
Oh, wow.
So I did a couple of things on music, and then advertising and events. If you analyze, if there are no sponsorships, it would be such a dull world. You imagine a Euro 20 that's happening in Europe now. Without advertising, there's no glamour. Now, of course, because of COVID, there are some other restrictions. But otherwise, without advertising, you can't hold this tournament. So that's the purpose of the objective of this book.
So if you want to know about that era, or if you want to ace the marketing game, the book is for you. So the book is for everyone who wants to know the world of marketing, and everyone who want to, whether you want to enter into it or you have been a part of it, it is. So this reminds me very famous quote of Anna Quidden: books are the plane and the train and the road. They are the destination and the journey. They are home. And similarly, this book must be a home for people who are looking forward to make marketing their game. So,
and precisely, beg your pardon, who are doing marketing of space in the print medium, especially.
oh yes,
it's a great value. Yeah.
That's true. So, as much as I knew you from so many years, more than a decade, I know you now. So, I know how much you believe in having, having a balance of everything. I have seen you working. Working means to, when you were working, overworking, kind of, and still having fun with the music and everything. So
I told you, glitz and glamour and then guts and glory.
yeah, that's the balance was so interesting.
Yeah.
That and that's the balance we always wanted to have in life. That's the ultimate goal, to get the balance. So so do you want to give credit to people who have helped you to um, make to like write this book, and do you want to mention a few people in this
Yeah.
process?
Now, first thing, all credit goes to my management, because I was the only ad man who could write. There are no advertising people who are journalists, but there's a clear dichotomy here. There was advertising and there was editorial. And in the newspaper office, there are very strict silos. But in the case, the silo was demolished. And I was as much needed in advertising as in editorial. It's a very rare thing to do. I'm sorry. I have to blow my trumpet here, but I can't help it. So because of that, I gave extra value. Very important to go beyond the call of duty. And what is, you asked me something else? I'm sorry. I'm going away from the point. You asked me something else?
No, I was just asking who all you want to give
Oh,
credit.
yes. First credit to my management. Then I had a boss called Mr. K.V. Balu.
Okay.
Balu was a brilliant guy, and maybe you would have seen him here come a couple of times in the house. Yeah. And he was a real bon vivant. He loved life, and a typical advertising guy. And I learned a lot from him, because for one to succeed in advertising, one has to be a little brash, one has to be very extroverted, not necessarily vulgar or obscene, but sophisticated and the suppressed kind of aggression in one's personality. That's very important. So there, Balu was a very influencing factor. There were others like Mr. R.K. Swamy, a pioneer in advertising from Madras. He worked in J. Walter Thompson, Bombay, and then came back and set up a agency on his own batch. And R.K. Swamy in BBDO, that's the collaboration with BBDO, famous at times. It's a numero agency in Chennai.
Okay.
Similarly, Mr. R.V. Rajan. R.V. Rajan started from the Charles of Bombay. This is a rags to riches story. He worked his way through jobs. Then he worked in small outfits. Then he moved into Clarion, ran advertising, and along we moved together. I went to Calcutta. He came. Then I went to Bombay. He came to Bombay. But then somewhere he took off far ahead of me. He came to Madras and set up his own agency called Anugraha. Anugraha is a leading agency in rural marketing today. Rajan is the chairman, has authored 3 books. And one of the main reasons for pushing me to write.
Oh.
Then, the last person, but not least, Mr. S. Muttaya, historian of Madras. Muttaya one day called me home. I was a bit worried why the old man is calling me. He said, come up for coffee. Then he said, I was already accepting all my writings in Madras Musics. It's an elitist magazine. I don't know if you've seen Madras Musics. Have you seen? You may not. It has got a very addictive but restricted. It is very selective.
Okay.
And high from. And he was accepting all my articles. Once or twice he said, no, it's not good enough. But then he invited me, went for coffee. Then he told me, Kalidas, you've got 5 books in you.
Oh.
He said, you've got 5 books. I was a bit flabbergasted. He explained. He said, okay, let me start with advertising, music, sports, because I covered sports also today.
Yeah.
So he went on. I was a bit too flattering. I'm not going that. But then, because of Muttaya, he said, you start by writing 1,000 words per day. So I had to write a blog. I could always dish out an article in 10 minutes. But write a book, oh, that seemed mind-boggling. But he said, no, you have to get it. And by misfortune that before I finished the book, he passed away. Muttaya is a very famous figure. So these are the big.
But that's the thing. That's the mantra to write a book, which can be whoever will listen this, they can follow this.
One very important one which I forgot.
Yeah.
My dad.
Whoever will listen this, they can follow this.
One very important one which I forgot.
Yeah.
My dad. When I was very young, he used to dump books on me. And at the age of 17, he gave me the original edition of Shakespeare. I said, Dad, please, I can't. No, just read. Then after I finished it, I gave him the Bible. And he said, you don't know, Bible, the syntax is fantastic. St. James version.
Oh.
Not the middle. I'm talking St. James version. If you read, that English is absolutely superb. So he said, that was directly translated from English to English language. So St. James, that Bible, I still have it with me. When you come down to Madras, I'll show it to you.
Yes.
That now Steinbeck, the Oscar winner, Pulitzer winner, when he was asked which is a big sort of, which book was the main sort of inspiration, he said the Bible. His dad told me Shakespeare and Bible.
Wow.
Do that well, he said.
So that's the beauty. Means reading evolves us, definitely. And I'm seeing it in my children. When they started reading,
Yes.
they are evolving, they are growing up, they are being more mature and more evolved with the time. And and what a brilliant way to inspire you to love the literature and to cater with different sort of books. So I will learn the parenting lesson too. So from there, I just want to tell you, let's show the book to the audience and tell the name. So reveal the book. Can you just show the book so everybody can see the book? And yeah, here's the book. We cannot see through the kaleidoscope.
Through the kaleidoscope.
Yeah, through the kaleidoscope.
Do you want to know the etymology of kaleidoscope? Sorry.
Name is also.
Do you want to know the etymology of kaleidoscope? Why I chose the name?
Yeah.
One was Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, that I got.
Kaleidoscope. The more important one is Kaleido. Kale in Greek is beautiful. Do means shapes, means forms, and scope. These are things you see in a kaleidoscope,
Yeah, the reflections.
In my first chapter, I start with through the kaleidoscope. So the reader will know what I meant by this kaleidoscope. My whole story is seen through a kaleidoscope. I hope we got the etymology correct.
Yeah. Let the reader know more about the colors of life and the colors of your professional life and the colors of world of advertising and different things about
this and get inspired. And definitely this the short interview which we recorded has many pearls of wisdom. But I want to quote another Mortimer J. Adler here, where she says that in the case of good books, the point is not to see how many of them you can get through, but rather how many can get through to you. And I am pretty sure this is one book which can get through to many. So I want this book to reach to many, as many people as possible, and I
Yeah.
ensure that I will spread the word as much as possible through the different
Very
social
kind of you.
medium.
Thank you.
And I will put the link of Amazon from where you can buy the book, and I will certainly thank thanks to you to share all those little tiny details about the books. And I'm so excited to read the book.
Yeah. Anyone wants any details, they can get in touch with me.
Yeah, so I will ensure that I will tag your email ID with the post so people can email you and reach you. And thank you so much for joining in, Kali Uncle. And it is always like it's always it's happy moment to meet you or interact with you. And I'm so happy to talk about your book. Thank you so much.
And I'm delighted to meet you, and thank you for giving me your time. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.